I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co, and today I'm reviewing Lost Ruins of Arnak Adventure Chest. Now this is going to be both the Adventure Chest, the big box storage solution for Lost Ruins of Arnak, and it also includes the Twisted Paths expansion, which is two sides of the board, as well as some additional content around that. I'm going to be doing both things today, so I'm going to be talking about the Adventure Chest, as well as, the expansion gameplay content, and I'm going to start by showing you how everything is, because I think, especially if you're reviewing the Adventure Chest, that's a big part of the experience. So, this is our Lost Ruins of Arnak Adventure Chest. It is meant to hold all the content currently in this expansion, and all the content released so far. That's like all the expansions. Everything that's out there is supposed to be held in this box. I'll also say that that was my first time having the box stored on its side, so we're going to see how well the internal contents fared for that. I'll also try to put it all back for you. But we have all our various boards on top, and these are layered in different ways because there are tiers to this internal insert over here. This board has a slightly different dimension than the board below it. You can see that gap here, and the insert does account for that. So I'm going to take these boards over here. I'm not going to show you absolutely every single thing, but my goal is to generally show you the Adventure Chest, so stack of things all the way on top. Then we have the new board. Again, that's this over here. We'll be showing you that in a bit more detail as we dive into the expansion content. And then we have all the various inserts. Your various character boards are going to store on the side. The long ones go, well, long over here. The other ones are the regular size ones are unfolded and long, and the super long ones you condense over here, wrapping them up. You basically have them, these are folded over because, frankly, that's too long for the box. It wouldn't fit in. That's going to be all over here in this little board. This tray is specifically designed to hold all of this in. Then we have a bunch of cards. So you have a bunch of cards over here in this particular box. This one is going to contain cards for the following. You have all your cards from the cooperative expansion over here. This is the Lost Expedition, or the Missing Expedition. Then you have some of the basic cards over here, as well some of the cards from the Missing Expedition over here. Then you have the basic starting cards if you're using basic characters instead of the unique characters. And then we have the unique character cards all started over there. So you have all of these with this little insert holding those in place. These all store nicely in here. We'll talk about opinions shortly on this, but there's something specifically about this that made me think about the opinions part. We'll come back to that soon. Then we have three trays over here. You can stack them in any order you want. They're going to hold, the components pictured. So you have all of these components. You have all of these. I have some deluxe upgraded components in this. It does store these just fine. So if you happen to have these tokens from, I believe, Medeus, if I'm not mistaken, they all store nicely in there. And then we have these, which also have stickers on them, by the way. I have stickers on the various adventure meeples. These are stickered little meeples, and they just go on the regular meeples, so of course they fit in here as intended. Those are going to be your three boxes that store nicely over here. And then we have the two bigger inserts before we have the biggest insert underneath it, or at least the flattest but biggest insert. This one's going to store various characters. We do have extra tokens. I'm storing these from the Missing Expedition. I'm storing these over here just for right now, so I'm still going through that. Then we have all the monsters, the curse cards. You have some tokens underneath. We have the two rods over there, the two staffs. And then we have this next insert over here, which again has all these, the more cards over here. We have items, artifacts. I believe the artifacts were in the other deck. One of them had items, one of them had artifacts. In fact, they actually have a little symbol. So this is going to be the artifact deck because it has a symbol underneath it. So we got our artifacts. The other one had items. And then we have the big and small locations. That's going to be another insert spot. Then lastly, we have this board underneath, which stores a variety of components. There's a whole bunch of things, including all the solo components, some of the adventure components, the expansions from the components from various expansions, including the cursed relics or the dark artifacts, whatever they are, from the new content over here. That's going to be in there. So that's how. And then I don't know if you can see it from the top camera, but this little divot. There's a little divot over here specifically to kind of hold these in place. So this tray is specifically designed to come out. Oh, and actually, if you take this off, by the way, it's worth showing you this. This over here comes directly out, so you can stack this directly on your board as a single preset instead of having to take them out and sort them each time. So that's a nice little quality of life thing, which I guess is a good time to start diving into thoughts and opinions on the specifically the box and inserts. So overall, the box and inserts are pretty decent. They're not necessarily amazing, especially if you're going from having base Arnak to this. Major quality of life change. If you have something else, for example, in my case, I had a folded space insert that was holding most of the expansion content. Not the most recent expansion, unfortunately, so this is a nice upgrade for me. But the folded space insert, I think, feels more premium. Especially if you do 3D printed inserts or things like that. There are a lot of third-party inserts on the market that will do a better job as far as the premium feel of it than you're getting out of this box. This box overall does the job. Overall, it's pretty functional. I have not yet. I've seen lots of very cool inserts for the base Arnak, for the base expansion. I have not seen inserts that accommodate all the new stuff, so I don't have an exact apples to apples to compare your options to, but I will say, size-wise, everything fits here without feeling like it's too empty or too full. I feel there's probably room to squeeze some additional content into here, although I don't know what their exact plans are. Like, for sure, things like more cards. Can you get more boards? Can you get more unique characters? I don't know, and I'm curious how this game and this box will grow with the continued progression of the game. This tray over here, overall, I like this tray. It works well with sleeved cards. When you don't have this tray full, okay, so if you don't have all the content for the game, let's say you only have the first expansion and you have the base game of Lost Ruins of Arnak, I think this is not great. The way these things are, they kind of slide very easily. This only works once it's full. And I have sleeve cards, which it does fit, which is nice. But if you didn't have sleeve cards, it's still going to slide a little more there. So this happens to work well for me. I don't think it's well designed because it kind of slides unless you have dividers. So it's not greatly designed, works well because I have all the content and it's all sleeved, so it works well. These trays, they work all fine. These are kind of meant to just be able to pull out and just stack at the top of the board if you want to, or you can pull things out. Honestly, they feel kind of bulky on the table, so as much as I appreciate having the various, I can't remember what they're called, the temple tiles that you can buy, as much as I appreciate having that as a little thing you can pull out, the overall components otherwise, these big trays are kind of bulky feeling that I just pull the content out. It takes like 6 pulls, you know, cards, locations, small locations, big locations, cards, and then you're good to go. So it's like a handful of pulls to get everything on the board without it looking nearly as bulky. So even though you could just keep them in their inserts, it's not how I personally would, not how I personally have done it. So overall, the big box, size-wise, it's great, fits into a calyx. Functionality does the job pretty well. Biggest complaint I'd say is the components, the inserts themselves. All this doesn't feel super premium as far as compared to other potential options out there. So it's a good insert. It does the job. I don't think you'll be super disappointed in it, but I do think if you're coming to this with a third-party insert from your base game and you're upgrading to this, it's more of a step sideways than a pure upgrade. So overall, I'm going to give the big box aspect of Arnak a 3.5 out of 5, which brings us to the expansion over here, the Twisted Paths. This is going to be a double-sided board. I may need to have to adjust the camera to show you all this. Oh, I'm definitely going to adjust the camera. Let's zoom out a bit to show you as much as we possibly can over here. This is going to be the Twisted Paths expansion. Now, there's 2 sides to this, and I'm realizing I'll also need some of the content to show you what's included. Now, I'll start by saying there's, I believe, I can't remember at all. I think there's 4 new Guardians. There's 2 new locations, probably all in the rulebook up here. There's 4 new Guardians. There's 2 small locations, 2 big locations. That's going to be the main things that are included as far as additional content. But I'm going to show you some of the components over here that we're going to be using for the Twisted Paths expansion, because there's 2 sides to the board, and each side uses, well, 1 main new element. So let's pull this out over here. Let's grab this, take this off, all this stuff, very accessible. And let's grab some of these corrupted artifacts over here. So we got these corrupted artifacts, relics. We have some of these tokens. That should be enough to show you what you need to see. So on this side of the board over here, you basically have a different chart. You have a different temple you're going up. What you're going to do is you're going to have relics that are going to go into these zones. Players can pull down a relic from the general card market if their token is above one of these zones, and then you can basically use these corrupted artifacts over here, corrupted relics, to corrupted artifacts to place them down in your color to activate the abilities of the artifacts. So you have to be above that location to do so, and you have to earn these. And the way you get these is a few different ways. Sometimes you can get them by going over to these certain locations over here. Other times, as you move up these pathways, you'll see certain spots will give you them. So you're getting these over here, which are worth negative points at the end of the game, but you can spend them like regular relics, putting them back into the market, because you're effectively going to have a pool. If you're playing a 3-player game, each of these spots will have 3 of them in that spot, and then the value of these, the negative point value, is equal to however much has been depleted. So if at the end of the game, you're always going to be depleting from left to right. If at the end of the game, this is the market over here, they're going to be worth negative 3 points each. And those negative 3 points are specifically when you've cashed them in to activate these artifacts. So basically, you have a new mechanic over here of corruption that you're balancing as you try to take these tokens, either spend them like regular tokens, in which case they go back to the market, or you use them to activate extra free abilities. Like you're basically getting free actions out of these, which is very strong, but you have to factor in the negative point value that you're getting happening during the course of the game. That's going to be what this side of the board adds. The other side of the board gives you a whole different temple track as well, and these are all, by the way, there's also, I should note, there's small changes as well to the general locations. So for example, these have these spots over here that you're getting extra things. Of course, you'll have the general differences to the board. These locations are marginally different over here, so you're going to have those as far as that goes. Then on the other side, we have over here, same kind of idea, new content over here. We have, again, new kinds of locations over here. This one specifically is focusing very much on the idols. That's a big component of this board over here. Instead of the cursed and the corruption and all that, you have extra idols. So you have 3 zones. You have the basic zone, you have the regular zone over here, and then you have this zone over here where you pay 3 compasses and 2 coins, but you do get an extra. These are still size 1 locations, they're the regular locations, but you get an extra idol when you go here. That's important because idols play very heavily into this game. This location allows you to activate idols on the board. And over here, what you're doing is as you move up these tracks, you have the ability to earn various tokens. I'm just going to put some of these in their matching spots. So you have the ones over here. So let's grab one of these. So I'm not filling the entire board, but you have these various spots over here, which these replace the normal tokens you'll get up here. So you can still get them at the top of the market like you normally would. But as you move up the track, you have the ability, if you're on this location, you can spend a compass to take this and now no one else has it. And once you get 2 of them, not only are you getting the points on them, so 5 and 1, but you're also creating a new spot where you can place an idol in order to activate your player board abilities. So effectively, this board gives you a lot more ways to get idols, and then new ways to spend your idols to activate your player board abilities without taking a negative point value. You know how normally you have the negative 1, 2, 3, 4 points? This one is simply, as you earn these, not only are you getting points, but you're earning a new way to place your idols and activate abilities. You also have these secret passageways on the side. That's another way to kind of escape the board, where as you move your compass up the track, you have the ability to take one of these 4 secret passageways, which means the earlier you take it, the harder other players have to go in order to go ahead and get theirs off. And that's going to introduce a new lantern token, which the lantern token has a new set of abilities along the side over here as you move them up a path. So it has a whole new extra element over there of moving up, getting out, putting your lantern at the very beginning, and then moving it up the path. Those are the 2 expansion boards effectively that are being added here. Again, there's some new content as well as far as monsters and other things like that, but primarily you're looking at new temple tracks and new ways, not just overlays like the game normally gives you, but new ways that those temple tracks interact with the main board, giving you a whole new customized expansion experience. Which means it's time to rate the Twisted Paths expansion. Twisted Paths gives you a little bit of new content, nothing to write home about. Primarily, it's giving you 2 entirely new boards that go hand in hand, that are in sync with each other and how they operate, and both give them new mechanics to work with as well. Contrasted with normally the new boards just work within the general mechanic infrastructure. In this case, there are new mechanics, whether they're the corruption or whether these new kind of tokens that give you ways to still earn points, but also to activate more idols. And both of them are pretty solid expansion experiences as far as giving you more variety. They don't massively change up the game. If you liked Arnak before, you'll like Arnak now. If you didn't like Arnak before, these won't change your mind. They're not overhauling the main game. They're kind of modules. Think of it as if you've ever played Ticket to Ride and like a new board comes out. That's what you're kind of getting here. You're like, oh, okay, cool. Core Ticket to Ride rules are in play. Just we have a small adjustment based on this new expansion board. Ooh, look at that. We're like mining as we place trains out. Same kind of idea over here. It's the core experience of Arnak is very much at play. We're not majorly shifting up anything. You're just giving you new boards, new experiences, new ways to interact with it. Overall, rating-wise for the expansion over here of a Twisted Paths, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Keep in mind, I rate expansions not based on the overall experience, because Arnak is absolutely a 5 out of 5 game for me. One of my favorite games. I never get tired of it. So far, at least I never get tired of it. But as far as expansions, I rate expansions based on what I think they add to the experience. And in this case, it's very nice to have. Nothing game-breaking. There's no major changes. It's not like adding asymmetric characters was a major overhaul for me. That's a 5 out of 5 expansion, like the first expansion. The Missing Expedition, again, another 5 out of 5 expansion. Completely changed the way you interact with it. This one is a solid 4 out of 5 expansion. It adds new content to a degree, but it's more about altering and adjusting your user experience as opposed to any major game-breaking shifts. So overall, the Lost Rooms of Arnak Adventure Chest, I'm going to give it a 3.5 to the core Adventure Chest. It does the job. It's not perfect, but it's a pretty good step, especially if you aren't working with an already existing insert solution. And then we have the Twisted Paths over here, which gives you a good degree of nice-to-have gameplay content that I definitely like. I like both of these boards. They're a lot of fun to go through, but they're not majorly overhauling the experience, so a 4 out of 5 on those. That has been my review of Lost Rooms of Arnak Adventure Chest. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. Hope you found this review helpful, and as always, I hope you have a good one.